San Jose's homelessness crisis has reached breaking point. Any and everywhere you go, in and out of stores, homeless, and what's happening on its streets right now is out of control. Rows of RVs stretch for miles, families living inches from billion-dollar tech campuses, while city officials ramp up towing and enforcement. This isn't the Silicon Valley you see in glossy ads. It's the one the city doesn't want you to notice. A place where working people lose their homes, then lose their vehicles, and finally disappear from the record books. What you're about to see isn't a headline. It's a warning, because the way San Jose is handling this crisis could redefine homelessness in every city across America. When Silicon Valley eats its own, let's picture this. Monterey Highway, at dusk. RVs parked bumper to bumper for 3 miles straight. Generators humming. Laundry hanging from side mirrors. And in the distance, less than 4 miles away, the glow of Google's campus lights up the sky like a second sunset. This is San Jose in 2025. The heart of Silicon Valley. Home to more billionaires per capita than anywhere else in America. And right now, more than 2,000 families are living in vehicles within city limits, a number that's climbed 38% since January alone. Here's the part that should terrify you. The median rent for a one-bedroom apartment in San Jose hit $3,200 this year. Meanwhile, the average service worker, your barista, your nursing assistant, your warehouse employee, earns around $42,000 annually. Do the math. That's 76% of gross income just to keep a roof overhead, before food, before childcare, before anything else. And when those numbers stop working, people don't vanish. They move into their vehicles. Then the city implements rules that make staying in those vehicles illegal in 83% of San Jose. Then comes enforcement. Since January, vehicle tows and impounds have spiked 194%. We're not talking about abandoned cars. We're talking about homes on wheels with families inside, being seized by the city at an average cost of $4,200 to get back. But first, we need to talk about what happened on Story Road. The incident the city won't discuss. The one that reveals exactly how this system works and who it's designed to move along. It's a 3-corridor trap. There's a triangle in San Jose that most residents drive through but never really see. Monterey Road corridor on the west side. Tully Road industrial zone cutting through the middle. McLaughlin Avenue stretches on the east. These 3 corridors hold the majority of San Jose's vehicle dwellers. Not because they chose these streets, because these are the only places left where parking an RV doesn't immediately trigger a citation. The city calls it 72-hour enforcement. Basically, if your vehicle stays in the same spot for more than 72 hours, code enforcement can chalk your tires, tag your windshield, and start the tow countdown. There is also an oversized vehicle prohibition. Any RV or vehicle over 22 feet long cannot park on residential streets between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. That eliminates most of the city for anyone living in a standard RV. Right now, San Jose operates 4 safe parking lots through the county. Total capacity, 142 spaces. Current waitlist, 923 families. That's not a typo. 923 families waiting for 142 spots. Average wait time from application to entry, 6 to 9 months. Some have been waiting over 2 years. Here's where it gets cruel. A single parking citation in San Jose starts at $280. Miss the payment deadline, and it doubles. If your vehicle gets towed, you're looking at an $85 daily impound fee. The city gives you 14 days to pay and retrieve your vehicle. After that, they can auction it. So if you can't come up with roughly $4,200 within 2 weeks, you lose your home permanently. Now that you understand the geography and the enforcement mechanism, let's trace the pipeline. Because nobody wakes up one day and decides to live in an RV on an industrial street. There's a sequence, 5 specific failures that compound like dominoes. And domino no. 5 starts with a paycheck that stops making sense. San Jose's RV crisis isn't slowing down. It's spreading. If you want the truth, cities won't show you. Subscribe now and stay ahead of what's coming next. Stomino 5. When wages become fiction. Floria is 42. She's a certified nursing assistant at a senior care facility off King Road. She worked through the entire pandemic, overtime shifts, double shifts. She was essential. Remember that word, essential. In 2023, her rent was $2,400 a month for a one-bedroom near downtown. Tight, but manageable. In 2024, her landlord raised it to $3,000. She asked for more hours, picked up weekend shifts. Then her landlord sold the building. New owner, new rents, $3,600 for the same unit. She got 30 days notice to either pay or leave. She makes $23 an hour. After taxes, that's about $3,000 a month take home. Rent alone would have been 120% of her income. So she moved into her van. Not a choice. A calculation. This is the pipeline and nobody talks about. Eviction doesn't mean you disappear. It means you downgrade. Apartment to motel, motel to vehicle, vehicle to street. Maria's living in a van in the King Road Walmart parking lot. She showers at the gym. She keeps her scrubs clean. She shows up to work on time. And every morning at 6 a.m., she moves her van so she doesn't violate this 72-hour rule. Maria managed to keep her job and her van, for now. But Domino 4 is already falling because the city's enforcement system doesn't care if you're employed, elderly, or trying. It only cares about one thing, whether your tires stayed in the same spot for 73 hours. Domino 4, the Chalkmark Countdown, Municipal Code 20.80.040. Most people have never heard of it, but if you're living in an RV in San Jose, this code runs your life. It says no vehicle over 22 feet can park on a residential street overnight. That's 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. Violate it once, you get a warning. Twice, a citation. Third time, you're towed. On motorway highway, code enforcement runs a chalkmark system. They mark your tires with a timestamp. 72 hours later, they come back. If you haven't moved, you get tagged. The citation is $280. If you don't move within 24 hours of that tag, they call the tow truck. Here's the cost breakdown. Tow fee, $260. Impound fee, $85 per day. Administrative processing, $75. Total to retrieve your vehicle after 1 week, $850. After 2 weeks, $1,200. And you have 14 days before the city can auction your vehicle to cover costs. James is 57. He was a tech contractor for 15 years. Solid income, good savings. Then his company downsized. He freelanced for a while, but contracts got scarce. He burned through savings paying rent. Then he bought an RV with what was left and moved into it full-time. That was 2 years ago. He parked along Story Road for a while, moved every 72 hours like clockwork, set alarms, tracked it on his phone. For 6 months, he played the game perfectly. Then his transmission failed. He was parked on Tully Road when it died. Couldn't move the RV, got tagged within 3 days. Tow truck came on day 5. He didn't have $1,200. He had $217. The city auctioned his RV 30 days later. James is now sleeping in a tent under the overpass near Highway 101. His home was 26 feet long. It had a bed, a stove, a shower. Now it's gone. And he's one of 500 RV residents who disappeared from city records between January and August of this year. He moved every 72 hours for 6 months. Then his transmission failed. What happened next is why 500 RVs vanished. Not because people found housing, but because the system crushed them into something worse. So James lost his RV because his transmission died, a mechanical failure the city treated as a crime. But even people who keep their vehicles running face Domino 3, the safe parking waitlist that stretches longer than most leases, creating a limbo where hope becomes its own kind of torture. Domino 3, the waiting room with no exit. Let's talk about safe parking. It sounds like the solution, right? Designated lots where vehicle dwellers can park legally. Access to bathrooms, maybe a dumpster. Some security. The county runs 4 of them in San Jose. Sacred Heart Community Service operates 2. Valley Homeless Healthcare Consortium runs 1. Another through a church partnership. Total capacity across all 4, 142 spaces, not 142 families. 142 individual parking spots. Some fit 1 RV, some fit 2 smaller vans if they squeeze. Current wait list, 923 families. As of October 2025, that's a 6-to-1 ratio. And the intake timeline, 6 to 9 months from the day you apply to the day you might get a spot. Might. Because turnover is slow, once someone gets into safe parking, they stay as long as possible. Who wouldn't? Linda is 61. She taught elementary school in San Jose for 32 years. It retired in 2022 on a fixed pension. Rent kept climbing, pension didn't. She applied for senior housing. Wait list was 4 years. She moved into her RV and applied for the Sacred Heart Safe Parking Program in January 2023. She's still waiting. It's been 2 years. She calls every month. Same answer. No openings yet. Meanwhile, she parks along McLaughlin Avenue and moves every 72 hours. At 61, with arthritis, in a vehicle that's barely running. And here's the kicker. While she waited, the city implemented a new policy in January 2025 that expanded overnight parking, but only for vehicles under 20 feet. Her RV is 24 feet, so the new policy made her situation worse. Now there are even fewer legal places for her to park. While she waited, San Jose made staying in her RV illegal in 83% of the city. And when the rains came in February, everything got worse. Linda's been waiting 2 years for a parking spot with a bathroom. But while she waits on that list, Domino 2 is making daily survival nearly impossible because San Jose expects RV residents to maintain sanitation standards while providing zero infrastructure to do so. Domino 2, the sanitation catch-22. Let's talk about something nobody mentions. Where do you dump waste if you live in an RV? San Jose has 0 public dump stations within city limits. 0. The nearest one is 17 miles away in Morgan Hill. Cost, $60 per dump. Most vehicle dwellers need to dump every 5 to 7 days. That's $240 to $360 a month. Just for basic sanitation. Water? Same problem. There are no sanctioned water access points for oversized vehicles in San Jose. Some folks fill up at gas stations. Some use jugs from grocery stores. Some risk connecting to apartment complex spigots at night and hope nobody notices. Now here's the trap. The city's health department can cite you for unsanitary conditions if waste is visible or if your RV shows signs of inadequate sanitation. But there's no legal way to maintain sanitation if you're living in an RV in San Jose. No dump station, no water, no infrastructure. You're expected to maintain health code standards without access to the tools required to do so. It's like being ticketed for not having car insurance when the state has made it illegal to buy car insurance. The rule exists, but compliance is structurally impossible. When the rains hit in February 2025, this infrastructure gap became a health crisis. RVs parked along Madera Highway flooded. Waste systems overflowed. The county issued health warnings. Residents complained. The city response, move along orders, not support, not temporary dump access, just move. But move where? To another street with no dump station, with no water, with the same flood risk. And that brings us to the biggest delusion of all. The sanitation crisis made RVs more visible, which triggered more complaints, which triggered Domino 1. The policy illusion that promises relief but actually compresses the crisis into fewer blocks while calling it progress. Domino 1. The Visibility Shuffle, January 2025. San Jose announces a big policy when they're expanding overnight parking access across the city. Residents can now park on more streets without getting tagged. Sounds great, right? Here's what the press release didn't say. The expansion only applies to vehicles under 20 feet. Your sedan? Fine. Your minivan? No problem. Your 24-foot RV where you and your 2 kids sleep every night? Still illegal in 83% of the city. So what happened? RVs didn't vanish. They compressed. All those families who were spread across various neighborhoods, trying to stay invisible, moving every few days, they all got pushed into the same 3 industrial corridors. Monterey Road, Tully Road, McLaughlin Avenue. Neighborhood complaints spiked. First quarter of 2025 saw a 212% increase in calls about RVs parked on commercial streets. Residents were furious. They'd been promised fewer RVs. Instead, they just got concentrated RVs. The city won't publish the data, but here's what local outreach workers report. The number of vehicle dwellers didn't drop. It stayed roughly the same, around 2,000 individuals, but visibility increased because everyone got shoved into the same few streets. Fewer RVs in residential neighborhoods, same number of people. Worse outcomes for everyone. Residents feel like the problem got worse. Vehicle dwellers lost access to quieter streets with less enforcement. And the city gets to claim they addressed neighborhood concerns, even though they just moved the crisis 3 miles east. And here's the part that should make you furious. San Jose knew this would happen, because another Bay Area city already tried this exact approach in 2022, and it failed the same way. Didn't reduce homelessness, didn't improve outcomes, just shuffled the visibility. The data was already there. San Jose implemented it anyway. 5 dominoes, each one pushing people further from stability and closer to the street. But these aren't just policy failures, they're daily emergencies for real families. And the cost isn't measured in citations, it's measured in lost jobs, lost health, and lost futures. Solutions. San Jose won't scale. Here's what works. Not theory or speculation. Tested models with documented outcomes that other cities have deployed successfully. First, replace age-based restrictions with inspection-based safe parking. San Jose currently bans RVs older than 10 years from most safe parking programs, assuming age equals risk. But a well-maintained 20-year-old RV can be safer than a neglected 5-year-old one. Replace the age rule with safety inspections, check brakes, lights, and structural integrity. If a vehicle passes, it qualifies. If it fails, provide a list of mobile mechanics to help fix issues before reapplying. The result? Expanded capacity. Many churches and nonprofits would open their lots if the city streamlined permits and dropped the 10-year rule. Estimated new capacity, 300 to 400 spaces within 60 days. The cost is about $2,400 per space annually, covering sanitation, lighting, and security. Compare that to $11,000 per shelter bed, or $68,000 for a permanent housing unit. Safe parking isn't the final solution, but it's the stabilization step that makes housing possible. Key metric: intake within 72 hours of application, no more 9-month waitlists. Second, launch of mobile services hub. Instead of forcing vehicle dwellers to navigate multiple agencies, bring the services to them. One staffed vehicle, rotating weekly. Tully Road on Mondays, Monterey Highway on Wednesdays, McLaughlin Avenue on Fridays. On-site services include DMV, ID assistance, mail forwarding, waste disposal, potable water refills, minor repair coordination, and housing navigation. The pilot would cost around $308,000 annually to staff one vehicle and contracted waste and water services. That's modest compared to San Jose's $4.2 million annual enforcement spending on towing, policing, and court costs. Third, establish master leased industrial lots. San Jose has many underused parcels, awkward shapes, limited access, unsuitable for commercial use, but ideal for parking. The city could lease these lots below market in exchange for zoning variances, then sublet to qualified vehicle dwellers. Participants would pay $50 to $75 per week, scaled to income. The model is revenue neutral, covering lease and maintenance costs. What happens next depends on you. Let's recap what you just learned. San Jose's vehicle homeless population isn't vanishing. It's compressing into 3 quarters: Monterey Road, Tully Road, McLaughlin Avenue, with worse health outcomes, worse employment outcomes, and worse housing outcomes than before. Enforcement intensified. The 72-hour rule and oversized vehicle restrictions create an enforcement carousel. Move or get towed. Get towed. Lose your home. Lose your home. End up on the street in a tent. This isn't solving homelessness, it's making it worse. Tested models exist. Inspection-based safe parking, mobile services hubs, master lease industrial lots. All of them are cheaper than current enforcement. All of them have documented success rates in other California cities. And San Jose has the blueprint sitting on the city manager's desk. It's been there since June. Now here's what you can do. If you're in an RV in San Jose right now, call Sacred Heart Community Service. They run the county's intake line for safe parking. The number's on screen. Even if you're on the wait list, ask about their Rapid ID Assistance Program. They can help you get your California ID renewed within days, not months. The ID is your ticket to employment, banking, and housing applications. Don't wait. Call today. If you're a San Jose resident frustrated by the visible concentration of RVs in industrial corridors, don't call the police. Don't call code enforcement. They're just going to move people 3 blocks over. Instead, contact the City Council Housing Committee. The number and email are on screen. Tell them you want the 12-parcel safe parking expansion plan funded immediately. It's already designed. It's already costed out. It just needs political will. Your call creates that will. San Jose's RV crisis isn't slowing down. It's spreading. If you want the truth, cities won't show you. Subscribe now and stay ahead of what's coming next.